Let's get the kettle boiled. Let's go fishing. I watched a movie last night, Doris Day. She's my favourite. I saw Marilyn Monroe, Betty Grable and Lauren Bacall all together in the last film that I watched. But Doris Day on her own for me, she's the star. I really do love her. And the film was called Glass Bottom Boat. So it was fishing as well. There was some stuff going on there. Her dad owns a fishing boat and it's a glass bottom one, hence the name of the movie. And she plays a mermaid initially. That's to get the attention of all the people who he takes out on his boat to look at the scenes. Oh look, there's a mermaid, and it's Doris Day. And she gets caught by Rod Taylor. And then the film develops further on from there. Great movie, loved it. Kettle's just boiled. Ouch, it's hot. I'm going fishing. That's not very bright, is it? Let's see if I can introduce some artificial light. That's better. You can just about see me, and I can just about see my float out there in the water. It will be a short session this morning because I've got my Bayside Radio chats with Jeff Pearson early today, but as long as there's time to get out there and cast a line, even if it's only for an hour or so, well, I'll certainly take that opportunity, which is what I'm doing this morning. I'll have a little bit more than an hour actually, and hopefully I can get a fish. I've got everything stacked against me today, and because of all the heavy rain we've had in the last few days, the pool isn't a particularly nice colour, but I'm not sure that's going to have a detrimental, oh, my light's gone off, a detrimental effect. Don't say the battery's gone on that. Anyway, let's get back to the fishing, shall we? I don't think it'll have a detrimental effect, and I'm hoping to get something on the bank and maybe in a lighter setting. But I don't mind one now. You take what you can when you can, when the conditions are up against you, and I can't even get my bank stick in. It's wobbling all over the place. I'm up against it this morning, aren't I? But will I get a fish on the bank? I'm sure I will. I can hardly see the float on the water, and I'm not fishing far out from the bank either, because not only is it still not quite light yet, but the rain's coming down in such a way that it's bouncing off the surface of the water, and all around the float I have to wait for the little gap to appear, and that little faithful orange tip float that I've been fishing with for a while now, still there. I'm still hopeful. An alternative source of light. It's like a Halloween movie now. I've just had a bite. I struck nothing there other than a huge clump of decaying vegetation. I do seem to be up against it so far, but I'm sure that I'll be getting something on the bank in due course. I'm going to go for a perch. Talk about leaving it late. Last cast I'd packed everything else away, just the rod out there and the landing net, of course. The float disappeared and I'm not a blanker, plus I've caught a perch. Showered, changed, and now ready for my weekly chats with Jeff Pearson. We talk both angling and Welsh football. We often say that, don't we, Jeff? And I think it might be our age, because the older you get, the more that appears to be so. But it most certainly does. And it's a reminder, of course, that we do need to make the most of every opportunity, make the most of every day. Well, that's why we often talk about your local tackle shop. It's not just a convenient place to go and buy gear, and in particular bait, but also to get the local information as well from the tackle shop owner, because invariably the person that owns the shop will also be a fisherman as well. And that, as you've just mentioned there about the mackerel, that's a perfect example of gleaning local information and knowledge from the man who most definitely has his ear to the ground.